Hi everyone, welcome to another Hatton's Model Railway Skillscast session where I show you some of the skills that you can learn to transform your layout into a fully working model railway. And this, I've got to be honest guys, this is one I've been waiting to share with you for so long. These are one of the best card kits that I have ever built. They're a really fantastic range and they are so easy to put together too. Of course, I'm talking about the 00 gauge Metcalfe Models castle kits that are available right now. If you want to check them out and you just can't wait, head over to that link in the description where there's full information on the range available right now. But what I'll be showing you today is some of the basics in how they go together. This is part one, so I'll show you a lot of the structural design and of course how to build some of the kits and my top tips that I found out when building these kits too. Later on, if you join us again at 2:30 or you're watching a little later and you're watching on catch up, head over to part 2 on our channel, which will be available showing you some more of the completed kits, the really fine details within them and some of the great possibilities that you can have with some of these modular buildings. As ever, if you've got any questions regarding the new Metcalfe Castle kits, please put them in the stream chat and I will answer as many as I can throughout the stream. But let's have a look a little bit closer at some of the elements we've got here. And I'll just give you a very quick run through of the different items that are available. It's a fully modular system. And if you want to build a full castle, you do need all the parts, but you can make up your own designs too. So I'll just run you through the different pieces that you can get. First of all, we have the castle gatehouse that you can see here. This is £16.50 and contains everything that you see. So you've got the various card items, the glazing for the windows, and the various laser cut fittings that fit on the top of the walls too. And I'll be showing you how those go on and fit together during the stream this morning. Heading over, we've got what I started with when I opened these kits up, and it's a great kit if you've not got a lot of time or you wanted to practice building your first card kit. These are a really easy kit to go together. They're an essential part of any castle wall, as you can see on my little diorama that I have here, but you can also use them as a folly or as part of a city wall or any other parts too. If we're actually talking about the walls, let's head over to the walls themselves, and this is a pack of different sets. So you've got long and short straight pieces that you can see here on the screen, as well as some 45-degree and 90-degree angles. So this is really great for you modular builders who want to build a castle to a certain design and a certain layout. Heading over to what is probably the largest building of the set, but still only £15. This is the Castle Hall with a north, east and west wing and a turret tower on the top. Again, you've got a huge amount of detail included in this kit with fully glazed laser cut windows, opening doors if you wanted to have them, and the various turrets and crenels on the top too. So all together with those pieces, you can build up something similar to what we see on the screen right now. This requires one of each kit and two of the castle wall kits. But as we've mentioned, they are modular, so you can build them up as you wish. Two other things to make you aware of before we get started on our kits are two of the other items that are available. You can buy separate card sheets of the castle wall texture if you want to build your own custom wall designs. And of course, the all-important rocket card glue and glue applicators there for ultra-fine application, which is really good for when you are fitting your windows. So the prices are all on the different products there. Kevin, it really depends on what size of castle you're building. With it being a fully modular system, the castle that we can see here, which is a large castle, works out at just under around £60. But that is hugely cheap compared to other resin buildings that are available out there. And of course, you can have as much or as little as you like of these various different pieces too. With it being a modular kit, you can build it up exactly as you want. It's all designed to go together. I've got a piece here of the castle hall, the walls, and the watchtower too. So there's 3 kits in there, all joined together. And of course, I'll be showing you some of the bits here right now of how they go together too. So let's take a bit of a closer look. And I'm going to start with some of the elements of the watchtower. This is the kit that I mentioned, maybe a great start for some of you who may not be so familiar with making card kits. Goes together really easily, and at £6 too, it won't break the bank, but you will get a huge amount of detail. So I'll just move my walls out of the way and we'll get this kit out. The tools I've got to hand today are some glue, as previously mentioned on our stream. We've put that there, and it's available from us right now. I've got a good knife as well, good craft safety knife. And I've got a steel ruler and a cutting mat. So that is all you need. You really don't need much at all to get started on this kit. As you'll see, if I swap you over to the little camera on the side, you've got a full set of colour instructions here. So I don't think that camera's working too well at the moment, but I'll keep it going. So you've got a full set of instructions that you can see there. And they really are easy to follow too. They're very simple and easy. So if you've never built anything like this before, there's not a lot to it, guys, really. It's some really basic skills that everyone can pick up. And there's not a lot to learn to be able to put these together. So I'll just put my separate parts of the kit apart here. Always give yourself a little bit of space so you can spread everything out as you need. So we've got the outside walls there with sheet A. Got part of our kit coming through there. But in the instructions, it is actually, I believe, sheet B that we need first. So I'll switch you over to the little camera again. And what we need to start is the inner support walls. So with a lot of Metcalfe kits, they'll have this internal structure. As you can see here, this provides a really sturdy structure that you can see. If we look inside the watchtower that I've built, you can see there that it's got a really thick set of supports that you can have there, strengthening the building and making sure it is fully firm and secure. A lot of the items come fitted in most parts. As you'll see here, this is mainly loose, but it does have a cut line at the bottom there. And this is just to make sure that whilst it is easy to take off, it does stay secure on its way to you and in use. So we'll get a straight edge ruler along the cut line that we can see there. And one pushing down quite firmly, making sure we've covered the whole of the area we wish to cut. It may take 1 or 2 goes, depending on how firm you are. Just give it a trial press, but as you can see, that's come away. And you can see there's just a couple of other lines we need to do there quickly. So there's no need for any scissors, any drills, any screws, any other cutting items like that. This is the case for 90% of this kit, and indeed 90% of most of the Metcalfe kits. So if you're watching this video and a castle might not fit on your layout, do have a look at what other items we have available. We have hundreds of items covering 00 and engage of various different types. So we'll take that away for now. And you can see there that it's not rocket science on how this is going to go together to provide the support structure here. This again is providing that really sturdy and firm interior for our castle watchtower. So you can see that that all folds into place as per so. And all we need now is to get a bit of glue on it. So I've got my glue to hand. Again, I'm just using what I've got available, which is a nice bit of PVA. But I would recommend some of the glues that we showed previously, and I'll just put those up on the screen again for you now. So you've got the AD57 rocket card glue on the left there, and you've got the ultrafine glue applicators on the right, which are perfect and ideal if you are putting windows and such on these kits, which with this kit you will be doing. So if we head back over to our model, I've put a bit of glue on there, just some points and marks where it needs to be sturdy. You do want to be pretty quick with this. Don't absolutely coat it in glue by any stretch. You only need a small amount. Making sure you get it close to the edges so that it sticks, but at the same time, not enough so that it overflows. You can just wipe the glue down a little bit just to give it a little bit more coverage if you wish there. So as you can see, there's really not been many tools or skills that I've used so far. So just making sure this now folds up. We want to just put that straight up. And then whilst we've got the glue there, bring up this side, fold that on, press down firmly for a number of seconds, depending on what glue you're using. It will take a little bit longer. This glue I usually recommend maybe half a minute or so for it to dry. But if you're using the rocket card glue, it will be a little quicker. So just holding that firm and sturdy there. I'll just move my hands out of the way. But you can see we've already got our interior box. Just making sure that's joining there. Just again, making sure it's firm and sturdy. And now you can see what the inside of our tower looks like. Just make sure that stays on. If it does peel away, just stick a little bit more glue behind it and make sure that stays sturdy. As you can see there, just a little bit more glue needed, but we'll just put that on in a couple of places to make sure that stays in place. And whilst I'm holding that, I'll just look at some of the questions that we have. So some people there already looking at the items that we have available. And of course, as we mentioned earlier in the stream, every single item from the kit available right now can be checked out in the description. We've got the glues available too, everything you need, the knife, the straight edge, and of course, the plastic cutting mat too. So if you are looking at building one of these and you've got no items whatsoever, we can sort you out with every single piece. The codes were shown towards the start of the stream, and I'll show them again for you very shortly too. But now we've got our structure ready. That is how the internal structures work. So this is the case for most of the buildings that you see. They'll have this strong internal structure, and then they'll have the outside cladding put on it, with some of the details included on the inside, such as the doors and the other items here too. But you can see there that that is already really sturdy to go together, even without that other system. So let's swap over to a different kit, and I'll show you just how you put the cladding onto the items themselves. And again, this is pretty much the same skill that you do have between the different items and the kit. So I've got some of the castle walls here. I've got a couple of variations in various built-up stages. So I'll show you those on the small camera now. Let's head over to that. So this is the same as our watchtower. I've built up the internal structure, but put nothing else on it for our 45-degree angle. You can see there that that's completely sturdy and ready for a wall to be put on it. This is the next piece along that I built. I put on some of the cladding, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. I also added some of the crenels on the top and the plates. I added the wall, the top of the wall paving too, and some of the thickness to the wall that you can see here. But I left some off so I could show you on today's stream. And finally, a fully completed piece at the top there with the various items placed on it as it should be. This is a 90-degree curve in the wall. And then as you'll see, they join on to be fully modular, and you can make them up in pretty much any shape that you like. And this is a really good kit as well, the wall kit that I'll just transfer you over to now. You do get a selection of different items that you can see here on the screen. So this is where you really start to build up your modular castle that you can have. So I'll just give you a look at that again. Again, a full listing of what is available in that kit is on our website. If you're after some extra card, have a look at the PO295. This contains some walling sheets that you can get. I believe it's about 6 or 7 sheets of roughly A4 size. Again, the full detail is available on our website for that. So if you're after some further sheets for building up your own custom shapes, you can have that. But these items themselves are very modular. So if you were looking at building something a little more decrepit or an abandoned castle, you can use the items in this kit if you suitably modify them to do that. But anyway, let's get some wall on our castle. Let's head over to the castle walls. So this again is a really, really easy thing to do. We've got our outer castle wall sheet here, which I've folded ready. This again, just cut from the sheets that we had before. And all that's going to do is sit on there. As you can see, we're going to get that very level indeed. You may occasionally just get a little bit of flash on the card here, and I'm just going to make sure those are cut away. Just doing that again with a sturdy knife as per so, and we've just cleaned up the bottom of our wall there. So putting that as we want it, we want the, as we can see here, we want this outer wall to be on the outer edge, as per so. So all we do is, again, a good bit of glue on our wall. I usually put spots every centimetre or so just to make sure they're secure, rather than a continuous run. Again, making sure I get close to the edge, but not too close so that the glue bleeds through. You will find that you need a lot less than you think, really, when it comes to the glue. You don't absolutely need to coat it. In fact, I've probably put a lot more on here than I did on the previous wall piece that you can see to my side there. But we have got a good coating now on both sides of that. And then just making sure everything is lined up, we firmly press that on and into place. Just making sure that we have it flush against the bottom and against the sides of the wall there. So again, just giving that a couple of minutes to set, making sure we keep a good bit of pressure on that just so it can join on, as you can see. And Chris, if you check the link in the description, you've got all our current stock availability there. These are selling really fast, so we might not have absolutely every kit available at all times, but we are selling them and have them available. So head over to the link in the description to see what stock we have available right now. So we've got that ready. And you can see already after just about half a minute or so, that's already fully glued on. And we have the starting of another wall piece to join on. So then you would add the rear of the wall in the same way. And then you would put the top of the wall on. And then you'd start building these back plates up. Now this adds the thickness to the wall, as you can see here. Stone walls on a lot of castles, I'm sure many of you are aware, they're not thin things at all. They're built from huge stone blocks. So you really do want to get that sense of thickness on there. And a lot of people think with the card kits that they only come in 2 dimensions, but this really does add the 3rd dimension and the depth to the building too. So what I'll do now is I'll add an extra section of the wall. So this is built up with a couple of different pieces, as you see here. And all we're going to do with these is put them right on top of each other. Again, just making sure they are absolutely flush. There is a handy jig included too with the kits. So if you don't feel too confident about getting these 100% flush the first time, you can align them with a little jig and then make sure that they are completely together. If you're feeling a bit more confident, you can just put them together and make sure they're flush like I'm doing, just to save a bit of time. But you do have that handy jig there, and I really would recommend that if this is one of your first kits or it's something that you're not feeling too confident about. Metcalfe have provided some great tools to be able to help you. And it's just a good time to mention again, the instructions are really straightforward. You follow them through like a book. There's no flicking back to page 3 and then going back to part 5 of page 1 and that sort of thing where you can just get really confused. You just read it through, some great tips and suggestions in there too. You start from the start and finish at the finish, and really, really easy to follow and build as per the kits. So a lot of no nonsense there. So I'll head back over to our little wall piece. We'll get our final part on there. So again, just a little bit of glue on there, just making sure that's spread around to have an even coating. Getting close to the edge, but not right up to the edge, so we don't have any glue overlapping and spoiling the cosmetic look of our model. Again, just mentioning the little jig that is available if you don't feel too confident. If you do get a little overrun of glue, you can just wipe it along the edges of the model, and then that will help the structure too. So again, leaving that for a couple of seconds just to dry. And what we do then is a little bit of glue on the back. Now we've got our thickness ready. Make sure to put the blue and the pink parts onto this, so you've got both the parts of the structure there. Now bring our wall over. putting it up against the back of the wall that we saw here that we've just put on the edge. And then making sure that's absolutely level, flush and fine with the rest of the buildings there. Again, just applying a little bit of pressure between the back and the front of the wall for a number of seconds. If you're using standard PVA, I usually put about 10 seconds of pressure on. If it's rocket car glue you're using, I put on a little bit less, keep it a little bit quicker. So you've seen all the major skills now. We've now got our wall thickness in there. You've seen all the major skills needed for this and all the different tools and options, apart from one. So we'll cover that one now, actually. We'll head back over to our little item. And this is the actual tops of the walls themselves. This is the different parts that you have. And Metcalfe have included a handy terminology kit, so I can explain this to you. We have the battlement walls that we see here. The tops are called the merlons, and the insets are called the crenels. So really good to know, actually, so we can really detail these up. And you can see a before and after here, with my 90-degree wall to the right, where I've put the tops on, the merlons and the crenels, and these are included in the kit, as you would imagine. So these are on a separate laser cut sheet. There's no cutting out needed with these at all. These simply push out, as you can see. There you go. So just gently push them out and break them away. Very small pieces, so you may want to do this with tweezers, or if you feel very confident, you can do it with your hands, as I'm doing. A very small amount of glue where you intend to put it. And these little bits just go in the crenels, as you can see here. So I'll put a little bit of glue in each side. Then, as said, you can do this with tweezers if you're not feeling too confident, but they do just slot in and press down onto the structure that you have. Again, just applying a couple of seconds of force there to make sure that they stay in. Just while that's drying, I'll get my other one ready. I'll move some of my castle out of the way. Then putting that on there again, just making sure that is flush against the bottom. Leaving it for a couple of seconds just to dry properly. And you'll see that there's two sides to this. There's a plain side, as you can see here, and there is a side with the detailing etched into it too. So make sure you use the side with the detailing etched in. It just looks a little better, really. It is a nicer finish. So for the actual tops of the merlons, you've got the top pieces that you can see. I've already used some of these in our kit. These work in exactly the same way, but you do need to do a little bit more securing with these. And I'll put one on the top there for you now so you can see how that goes on. Again, a very small amount of glue onto there. And I'll just bring that forward. Now, there's no locators for these, so you do need to be quite dexterous with your hands, but you do get a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds, should I say, of time to move these around. And then, again, just applying a little bit of pressure to make sure it sticks. And there you go. So we've now got the walls on. And that is the main skills that you will need to build one of these castle kits. There's not a lot to it, really. It is a lot of skills that you can pick up quite easily, as long as you can follow instructions, which, like I said before, are a pleasure to read, really. There's the no nonsense and the fully illustrated too, so it's very hard to get confused with them. You've got the various sheets of items, which are clearly labeled as to what is what, and then you just need to be able to score those items out of the areas as we've seen. Depending on which kit you're building, you will have different sizes of the internal support structure, but these are an essential part to make sure the kits are as sturdy as you can see. With the castle hall, you see they're fully supported on the inside too. To give you an idea of the time scale, it took me about an hour to build that the part of the castle hall that I've built there up to that size. That's with all the glazing that you can see, and we'll be taking a closer look at that in the second part of our stream. But it really doesn't take you too long to put these kits together. If you follow the instructions and watch back through some of the skills that we have now shown you, you can really learn to get one of these castle kits or any Metcalfe kit put together really easily and with a good amount of fun too. So I'll just show you again through the items that we have available. If you're interested in these, do head over to the link in the description. They're all modular, as we mentioned before, so you can build them up as and how you like. Maybe you've got a city wall on your layout, or you have a small folly, which is perfect for the watchtower on its own here. The castle walls include many modular parts, as I've just built for you on the stream. So you can put those together in pretty much any way you want to build either a walled town or a huge sprawling castle. Castle Hall also makes a great manor house or something along those lines too. And again, an old building, maybe in a town or a cityscape. If you want a little bit more customization, you can pick up the Castle Stonework Pack 2, which is available for £5. And with everything in, with 2 packs of the walls, you could build a structure like this, but you can build anything to any size. This really shows just how big you can get, but all the kits do work independently on their own too, dependent on the need on your layout. So I hope you've enjoyed having a bit of a closer look at the kits. If you're watching us live, don't forget to come back at 2:30 this afternoon. If you're not watching live, head over to part 2 on our channel, because we'll have more of these buildings on show, and I'll also be showing you some of the ways how they connect, how they build up, some of the finer details when it comes to the really intricate kits with the windows that you can see there, and also some great inspiration on how to include castles on your layout with examples near, over and under some of the railways in the UK and beyond. Otherwise, I hope you've enjoyed today's stream. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel if you'd like to learn more about model railways with all the latest model railways news and skillscast sessions too. Otherwise, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.